I was working part-time caring for our newborn and skipping meals to afford my husband's green card process. Then I found out why he was asking for double lunch portions every day. My husband and I have been married for almost 2 years and have a 6-month-old baby. I worked part-time to pay for the legal fees to get him documented. To make his life easier, I woke up 90 minutes before him every day. I prepared his breakfast, prepped his clothes, and packed him a fresh, healthy lunch. But recently, he started asking for double portions. He claimed he was still hungry. To accommodate him, I began packing my own lunch portions and dinner leftovers for him. This meant I often went without lunch myself, which was incredibly difficult because I was breastfeeding and needed to keep my milk supply up. I assumed he was just bulking up at the gym. One morning while packing his lunch, I found an unfamiliar fork in his lunchbox. When I asked, he claimed he found it in the kitchen at work and brought it home. It felt odd and a pit opened in my stomach. A few days later, I decided to surprise him at work with dessert and the baby. That is when I discovered the truth. A female coworker, one he had promised me no longer worked there and whom he swore he had blocked, was sitting with him. She was eating the fresh, healthy lunch I had painstakingly prepared for him while my husband sat beside her, eating the leftovers. I did not cause a scene. Instead, I quietly took photos, drove home crying, and packed my and the baby's essentials. I went to my sister's house and explained everything. I left a letter at our house giving him 7 days to pack up and move out of my home, which my mother had gifted me years ago. Underneath the letter, I left the printed photo of them eating lunch and laughing together. That night, I messaged our immigration lawyer and canceled the green card application. I was no longer going to fund his residency process after he betrayed me so deeply. Canceling the case drove him insane. Without my sponsorship, he would have to choose between leaving the country or never seeing his daughter again. He began begging and showing up at my sister's house. One night, he came back drunk with his friends, and my brother-in-law had to scare them off with a shotgun. Eventually, he packed his clothes and left. When I checked the house, his things were gone and nothing was damaged. I felt completely broken. I had gone from an independent career woman to a 1950s housewife, skipping meals for a man who made me cook for his mistress. 17 days later, she posted an update. I went for a medical checkup and discovered I had a transmissible infection, which confirmed his unfaithfulness. I confronted him and demanded the truth. He claimed he loved me, but life had gotten boring and she entertained him. He tried to claim the infection came from cow manure at the dairy farm where he worked, but when I showed him my lab results, he finally broke down and confessed. It turns out his mistress was actually engaged to someone else and was about to get her own green card through her fiancé. He called me later, crying and apologizing. He realized he was not special to her. She had been sleeping with multiple co-workers. He begged for a second chance, saying his old routine felt like a chore, but now he hated his empty trailer. He missed having food made for him and seeing his daughter. I told him he could see the baby at my mother's house, but I refused to take him back. I had worked so hard to keep our family together, and he threw it away because he was bored. I was heartbroken, but I knew I could never trust him again. Shortly after, she shared another update. The mistress's fiancé found out about the affair and called off their engagement. She blamed me for ruining her relationship and started harassing me. She punctured my car tire, wrote homewrecker across my front window, and sent endless threatening texts. I had to hide my car in my mom's garage, borrow a vehicle, and install security cameras. The police are patrolling, but my life has turned into a nightmare. It is terrifying how one selfish decision from my husband ruined everything. What would you have done in my situation?